we need to factor the following expression completely. So whenever I see an expression and it has 4 different terms, the first thing I look for is greatest common factor. So is there anything that we can factor out of all 4 terms? Well, looking here, there's not. These 3 have numbers in front. This one doesn't. They don't all have W's, so we can't factor out a greatest common factor. So the next thing I look for is I want to look at the 2 groups. Now this is one way. My daughter actually taught me this one. So kind of separate them into 2 groups and look at each of these 2 groups to see if we can factor by grouping. Oftentimes when you have 4 terms, you can factor by grouping. So I find this little line helpful to kind of separate it. So in this first one, I can see they both have a W squared. So I'm going to do W squared out of that first one. After with W cubed, I'll have W left, just minus 6. Okay, the second one, I can see the biggest is going to be a positive 8 that I can divide out of both. And so I'll have left W minus 48 divided by 8 is 6. Now this is great when we can see that we have the same thing factored in each of the parentheses. We know we've done this correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor out this from each of these terms. So it's kind of like this is one term and this is one term because they're multiplied together. And so we're going to factor the W minus 6 out of each of these 2 terms. So we have W minus 6. We definitely want that in parentheses. And then we'll have W squared plus 8. Now anytime when I'm factoring, if I see I still have a W squared or W to some power other than 1, I'm definitely on high alert if I can factor this further. Because it's a plus though, this W squared plus 8 isn't going to factor further, and so we're good here. But just be aware, whenever you see W squared, there's a chance you'll have to factor that further. And that's going to be our final answer there.